You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Dawn Chorus, Jorgen's Path. Hope you guys have been enjoying all this new content lately, including new Fatal Force and Tennis Ace. Very much enjoying those. Numbers on the channel are going up. Gonna be approaching 60,000 views a month before long. It's getting, man, I'm gonna be at 500,000 channel views total within like a month or so. You guys are wild. But hey, I'm here to provide, and let's jump right back into another episode of Jorgen's Path. I think this is Jorgen's Path. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah, it's Jorgen's Path. Okay. Alright guys, sit back and enjoy. I'm going to entertain you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right into it. Alarm chain, you are up. Okay. Try playing piano? Let's refuse. Yeah. Fuck y'all! Oop. Sorry, I really don't remember anything. I'd only embarrass myself. Okay, I won't pressure you into doing something you don't want to. You can come here later and practice a bit by yourself to see if you remember anything. That's much more sensible than expecting you to play it here with an audience. When you put it that way, sorry, Carvine, I thought you would enjoy this and just needed a small nudge. It's okay, Rune, but yeah, I got all stressed out just thinking about it. Some enjoy being in the spotlight and some don't. It's as simple as that. Thank you, Torolf. I don't really mind being in a spotlight, but only as long as I feel like I deserve it and I know I can live up to the expectations. Which definitely isn't the case this time. I don't think I remember anything other than Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Sorry again, Carvine. It's fine, really. By the way, Miko, your playing is really nice. Do you play often? Not really. I used to, but that was back in Finland. Here I don't have a piano I could practice on, and I do have a synthesizer with a keyboard, but it's definitely not the same. Pianos have weighted keys with a completely different feel and playing dynamic. I can't imagine performing something other than Bach's fugue on a synth. Why that, if I may ask? Those were written for organs mostly, and so the dynamics are completely different. You don't need a piano's dynamic range and subtlety to play those. I understand. So you play electronic music too. He actually composes his own stuff, and he's quite good at it too. He played me some of his tracks earlier today. They were all good. Miko blushes at his words, putting his huge fluffy ears down. Unlike me, he never liked being in the spotlight, no matter what. I just like playing music, that's all. If you're good at it, you definitely should use your talent, though. Do you have a SoundLike account where I can listen to your tracks? I do have one, but I don't really upload anything there, at least not lately. Why? I mean, how else are you gonna get known? I don't really care about that. As I said, I just like playing music. The fur on Miko's neck is all bristled, and he even bares his fangs when he speaks. Oh, this is not good. I rarely see Miko angry, but now it's clear that he's getting more and more annoyed. That's just wasting your talent. If there's something you can do well, you should find a way to monetize it. Or at the very least, share it with the world. Torolf, you just told me not to pressure Carvine into anything, and now you're trying to talk Miko into things he told you he doesn't want to do. Torolf looks at Rune and then at Miko again, clearly taken aback. You're right. Sorry, although I won't change my mind about it. I'd be glad if you respected my approach to what I do, thank you. Oh, that was definitely the most hateful thank you I've heard in a long time. Well, the atmosphere in the room is completely ruined. I glance at Bjorn, who has been quiet for a while now. He's looking down at his paws, just playing with the cuffs of his hoodie, looking as if he wishes he was anywhere but here. Anyway, I really enjoyed listening to you play, Miko. I love the sound of a piano. I know it's a fairly common sentiment, but piano might be my favorite instrument. It has such a magical, romantic quality to it. I regret picking up guitar instead of piano a bit, just a tiny bit. Actually, I wonder how does piano relate to guitar if knowing how to play one helps with the other. Miko, can you play the guitar too? Just what I learnt at primary school. It was so long ago, there's no point even mentioning it. I remember one song. That was an easy one by Neutral Minnow Hotel. Minnow Hotel, you say? Oh yeah, of course. You mean the Asteria plane over the sea? That one, exactly, yeah. It's a classic. I don't think I've ever heard of it. It's not the kind of music you look for. It's the music that finds you. Anyway, you won't be able to help me much then. I'm afraid not, unless you want me to teach you how to play piano. Maybe someday. I have a bit too much on my paws lately. But thank you for the offer anyway. What would you mind playing some more, Miko? I don't remember the last time I heard someone play piano live. Actually, I don't think I've ever attended any piano concert. It feels different than listening to recordings. I can't really say what it is exactly, but it feels just so much more alive and magical. I know a few more pieces. And we have time. Cute boys. Cute boys, lovely weather and music. As we sat together listening to Miko play, day slowly turned into night. Leaning on Bjorn through the window, I observed the last minutes of the evening sun painting the sky red and orange. Soon after, the clouds started to give way to a clear, silky smooth sky, slowly fading to black. So many things happened today already. The afternoon is over, but the memories of it will stay with me forever. Eee, so cute. Alrighty. I do believe it's that time. Days end so fast here up north during winter. I don't feel tired at all, quite the contrary. I'm full of energy, even though it's already dark outside. Above me, the stars look like small pebbles scattered across the night sky. Here, far away from the city and its polluting lights, they shine so much brighter. There's even the subtle band of light that forms the Milky Way slightly visible. It's a very cliché thing to think, but it's mind-blowing to think how big they actually are. So big and so distant. Impressive, isn't it? We stayed at the common space for more than an hour, first listening to Miko's playing, then just talking together. At the end, we were joined by Lake and Jorgen, who treated everyone with chocolate they brought with them. It was almost time for the stargazing to begin, so we hurried outside onto the terrace. Here we found a few other students already waiting, and several telescopes lined up at the edge of the terrace. The night sky here certainly is something. Next to the entrance stands Coach, together with a professor I'm not familiar with. He's a burly badger, probably in his late 40s and 50s, looking rather friendly and approachable. Good evening, Professor. Good evening, Lake. And hello there, Jorgen. Evening, Professor. I hope you're well. I'm good, thank you. Wait, Carvine, don't you have anything warmer than a sweater? I do, of course I do. It's back in my room. Oh, yeah, right. I should have thought about that before. Wait here just a moment. Or come back inside with me. I nod and go after him back into the guest house. Oof, it's so warm in here. I'm glad he noticed. Knowing me, I wouldn't ask anyone and freeze to death outside. Okay, I'll be back in a second. He dashes off into the corridor leading to the residential part. His room, where I assume he's going, is one of the first ones, so it shouldn't take long. And indeed, after a short while, he emerges back from behind the corner, carrying a thick-looking black jacket in his paws. Here you are. You can hold on to this until you have your stuff back. Thank you, Coach. I put it on over my sweater. It's a bit oversized, but at least it's warm and comfortable. Okay, we can go back now. Coach glances at his watch, then looks at the notebook he holds in his other paw. Looks like everyone is here already. We can start now. Let me introduce you to Professor Arn Fang, who will give you a crash course in astronomy and stargazing tonight. Thank you, Professor. Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you all. So you're here because you've signed up for stargazing as your activity for today. You probably expect to start with the telescopes, which you can see over there, but that's not what we're going to do. I understand that some of you might be more advanced in the topic, but we're going to start with the very basics today. We're lucky that the wind blew the clouds away, otherwise we wouldn't be able to see much and would have to postpone the activity. Stars are favorable to us today. He chuckles at his own pun before continuing. Devin, can you go around to turn the lights off? Sure thing. Stargazing, for someone not versed in it, might seem uninteresting. It's just looking at the sky, isn't it? Well, in a way it is, but it becomes interesting when you know what you're looking for. The sky is a truly beautiful thing in itself, but knowing what you are looking at transforms the experience. We will start our course with the simplest exercise. Look at the sky and try to locate the Ursa Major constellation. That's easy, Bjorn is standing right there. Lake points at the bear and whispers to Jorgen, who upon hearing that hides his face in both his paws with a sigh. Thank you, Devin. So now, you can find the Ursa Major by yourself. I look up at the sky, but I have no idea what to look for. I've heard about that constellation, but at first glance it's hard to recognize anything even a bit Ursine looking. If you found it, please raise your paw. Glancing around, I see a few paws already in the air. I myself have no idea what to look for, though. Okay, so, now, how to find that constellation in the sky. When you look at Ursa Major and its tail, you will surely notice a familiar shape. You may know this group of stars as Carl's Wagner, Charles' wagon, or the plow? Plow? That's Big Dipper for you, Devon. Ah, sorry. British English sometimes still confuses me. Oh, that makes it much easier. I think everyone at least once in their life found the plow in the sky. Only, unlike in the city, the sky here is filled with a multitude of stars. How am I supposed to find anything among so many? Counterintuitively, you may find out that locating specific stars is harder here because of how many stars are visible. Focus on the brightest ones and ignore all the small ones. I think I see it. Looking only for the brighter stars, I finally locate the familiar shape and raise my paw. Now, why is this important at all? That constellation is the third biggest one in the night sky, and certainly one of the most well-known. It is extremely useful in navigation in the northern hemisphere of our planet. Even Homer in the Odyssey mentions Ursa Major as the constellation that never disappears from the sky, and instead bathes in the ocean's waves. If we draw a line going through them, the last two stars of the bowl point us straight to Polaris. Who can tell me why that is important? Polaris is the North Star. It's roughly above the North Pole, so it's the point around which the whole sky rotates. That's right! Thank you, Jorgen. What you might not know is that Polaris is actually a 3-star system, composed of a primary star with 2 smaller companions, but that's a story for a different lesson. If anyone here is interested in night sky photography but doesn't have the money for expensive equipment, then you could take some nice photos knowing where Polaris is. With long exposures, you can get those beautiful star trails circling around the North Star. I like this guy already. It's a shame I don't have classes with him. Our physics professor is probably the grumpiest old man I've ever seen. He really is nice, but any joke about Uranus gets you thrown out of his class. Lake knows something about that. Hell, Lake, I always thought you're a polite boy that never gets into trouble. I don't know where you got that idea. I can attest that it's completely untrue. So, it looks like everyone was able to locate the Ursa Major. That's great. For the next exercise, let's spice things up a bit. This time, you'll be using telescopes. You will take a closer look at Saturn through them. That is, if you manage to locate it. I'll make it easy for you, though, because these are supposed to be fun activities after all. You were instructed to download a sky map app to your phones before the arrival. I hope you all did that. Oh, damn! If not, then do that quickly before we get to the next step. Devon, you can go too. Have some fun as well. Oh, if I can, then sure thing. Okay, so we don't quite have enough telescopes for all of you, so for the purpose of this exercise, you may form pairs or triples or whatever configurations you might fancy. I don't mind. So now, please step up the telescopes. I believe you can sort into bigger groups when needed yourself. Doing as Professor Arn said, I walk up to a free telescope at the end of the terrace. Looking around, I see that all my friends are already either at their telescopes or paired up with someone else. Even Miko is walking towards one alongside Bjorn. Okay, does everyone in every group have their own telescope? Good, so now we can start. Named after the Roman god of time, Saturn is a good object for observation for beginners. It's relatively easy to locate, and I might say, fairly spectacular because of its rings. From my own observations, I can tell you that my students prefer to look at planets and stars. We have a bit of a closer relation with them after all. You can't help but start to imagine what it might look like from even closer. Who knows? Maybe one of you will find some alien structures on one of the planets someday. But for now, look for an object with a golden color, shining steadily, just a tad bigger than the other ones around it. First, you will need to locate it with your own eyes before finding it through a telescope. The mobile app you have on your phones will be very helpful. An object with a golden color, shining steadily, just a tad bigger than the other ones around it. Easy to say, hard to find. I start up the sky map, hoping that it will help. I have absolutely no idea how to use it. Maybe I should have read a manual or something before the lesson. I look around in desperation. Maybe I'd be better off joining someone else after all. Also, it's already the end of the day, and I still haven't asked anyone about sharing the room for tonight. I think it's finally the time to make that decision, and this might be the best moment for that. So, who am I gonna ask? Jorgen. Bad boy. I look around to locate Jorgen and see him standing not far from us, alone. He's looking through the finder, making fine adjustments to the telescope's position with the knobs. Jorgen? Yes? Jorgen replies without looking at me, fully focused on the task, his moves precise and deliberate. How are you doing? Only now he looks away from the telescope, turning in my direction, a slight smile on his lips. Fairly well. Nice of you to ask. How about you? I see you're in a good mood, Jorgen. That is true. This gives me some hope. I haven't talked with him much. He always seemed so out of reach, encased in his own world. But this time, the starry sky reflected in his glasses almost obscure his eyes, but I can see that he's looking straight at me. Did you want something? I don't believe you came over just to ask how I am doing. Oh, no. I mean, I'm interested in that too. But I have some trouble with using that sky map, and I didn't want to bother Professor Arm with questions. That's silly. It's literally what he's here for. But if you're here already, I can help you. What did you have problems with? I haven't used the app before the assignment, so I have no idea how it works at all. Jorgen looks at me sternly from behind his glasses, and I can feel his gaze pierce me mercilessly. Didn't the email say to familiarize yourself with the app before stargazing? Yes, but actually don't have anything in my defense, sorry. Why should I help you if you didn't do the bare minimum, then? Because you're nice? That's a bold assumption, Carvine. But as I'm almost done, I can help you. Just wait a moment. I rarely have the occasion to use such nice equipment. Jorgen looks back into the telescope while I look around at the other students. A little bit sassy, isn't he? Most of them are still looking at their phones, pointing them at the sky. Okay, now I'm done. So, where's your telescope? I'll help you there. Here, I've done all the work already. Okay, sure, it's that one at the edge of the terrace. Jorgen nods and follows in silence. Jorgen quickly goes with me through the functionalities of the Sky Map app, and helps me to find Saturn myself using it. He really is knowledgeable, or at least well prepared. No wonder he's a top student, at least according to Lake. So, this is just a regular tripod. If you've ever used one, then you know how to use this too. Unscrew this first, and then you can rotate this telescope freely. I follow his instructions, sometimes asking a question when I don't fully follow. So far, everything is going smoothly. He's great at explaining. Now, look here, into the finder, and try to locate Saturn through it. When it will be roughly in the middle, tighten the lock knob and look through the telescope. Then you can do fine-tuning with this set of knobs on the side. Okay, I still follow. This wasn't really hard, quite the contrary. I can't deny I had fun doing all this. Probably much more fun than if I had been doing this alone. Great. Good job, Carvine. Go ahead and take a better look. Yes. Oh, I love it. It's so cool. So fucking cool. I lean in and look into the telescope. In the middle of the image, there's a rust-colored orb with a ring around it. I was expecting it to look like a flat image, but it's very real and three-dimensional. The planet casts a shadow on one side of the rings, and there's a thin shadow of the ring on the planet itself, too. It's not too big, but I see it very clearly. Okay, that was, something. Yes, I can agree here. Saturn is especially impressive. That's why we got it assigned as the object of observation for today. Now tell me, I know you didn't come here for me to help you. If you didn't want help from the instructor, which I find unlikely, you still could have asked Lake or your friend Miko. So, what's the matter? He saw right through me, just like that. He knew from the beginning and still decided to help me. That's nice of him, at least. Well, you remember the situation with my room, yeah? Jorgen only nods, waiting for me to continue. So, I still haven't found a room for today. I've thought about it for a while, and I know that you don't really have a reason to, but I thought I could ask anyway, because there's no harm in that. Anyway, would you be okay with taking me in for today? Sure. Oh, great! That's really great! The only issue I see is that we only have 2 beds, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. Lake will have some ideas, I'm sure about that. In any case, I don't mind you staying with us. Thank you, Jorgen. No problem, Carvine. However, this is also Lake's room, so you should go ask him too. Unless you already did that. Not yet, I'll go do that now. Thank you again, Jorgen, you're really great. It's nothing, really. And I have a hunch that Lake will agree anyway. Okay, so I only need to ask Lake now. Unless I'd rather stay with someone else. Nope. I look around for Lake, finally locating him just one group away from me. He's just standing there and watching the stars, likely having already finished the assignment. Hey, Lake? Carvine, what's up? Are you done already? Yeah, this was really easy. Very fun, too. The conditions for observing the sky are great today, but we're really lucky. Are you done, too? Yeah, Jorgen helped me with his. with this. I had problems with the sky map at first, but it turned out to be really intuitive. Jorgen? Really? Huh. Yeah, it's a useful tool. So, Lake? Yes? For some reason, this is harder than I thought it would be. I just really don't want him to reject me now. Hey, Carvine, what's up? So, you know I had to find some room for tonight. Yeah? I went ahead and asked Jorgen if I could stay at yours, and he agreed. Really? Now I'm even more surprised. But this is also your room, so naturally I should ask you too. Oh, right. If Jorgen is okay with that, then I am too. Sure. Whew. But now all the tension I felt dissipates, and I exhale with relief. My breath turns into a white cloud between us in the cold air. Thank you, Lake. You're really saving my life now. It'll be great to have you there, really. Like having a sleepover. Just none of us will be a ghost. We'll be a ghost. Just none of us will be a host. That went really well. Alright, I'm gonna pause it right there. We're gonna be in their room. The next video. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been a new episode of Dawn Course, Jorgen's Path. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!